The last week of October is International Lead Poisoning Prevention Week, and Broome County health officials spoke today about the importance of lead testing and ways to prevent poisoning. Officials say the effects of lead poisoning on children include brain damage, developmental delays, trouble with speech and hearing, behavioral problems, mood swings, seizures, and others. 12 News spoke to the Broome County Health Program Director about the importance of lead testing.
When a child is continuously exposed to lead, then we see all of these effects kind of compound on each other. So the developmental delays that we see tend to be a lot worse if the child has that chronic continuous lead exposure. So there isn't a specific treatment per se, but the best thing to do is to remove the source of the lead.
Officials at the Broome County Health Department say lead testing is essential for children ages 1 to 2. The health department handed out awards to local health providers that excelled in lead testing in the last year.